Why were the earthquakes in Turkey so incredibly devastating? There's several different reasons. The first one is the size of the earthquakes. A magnitude 7.8 earthquake is an enormous quake. That's a tremendous amount of energy, and that shaking was felt hundreds of miles in all directions. And that first earthquake caused a lot of damage. And then there were aftershocks from that earthquake, which then compromised buildings that had already been damaged. Then, 9 hours later, there was the magnitude 7.5, which is another enormous earthquake, which caused its own damage. So you have this sort of cascade of large earthquakes that are causing damage to structures and infrastructure over a wide region. Also, the earthquake was pretty shallow, so it was about 17 kilometers below the surface. Now, why does that matter? Where you are, your proximity to the earthquake matters in terms of the amount of shaking you're going to feel. The closer you are to the earthquake, generally speaking, the more shaking you're going to have, right? So that means not only horizontal distance, like driving distance, but also vertical distance or depth down into the earth, because earthquakes start miles below the surface of the earth. So if you imagine an earthquake that happened 150 kilometers below the surface, the nearest person or building is 150 kilometers away from where that earthquake is happening. This earthquake, again, was about 17 kilometers below the surface, so pretty close to population centers. And there were a lot of population centers near this earthquake, so millions of people felt shaking from this event. There were a lot of people around. Plus, all of those people were generally in bed. They were sleeping. It was the early morning hours there, and so that was another contributing factor to the absolute horror and devastation that these earthquakes caused.